Have you ever paused and wondered, were the peculiar moments of your childhood more than just coincidences? Perhaps there were instances when you felt inexplicably alone, wiser than your years, or deeply connected to nature that seemed out of place at the time. What if these moments weren't random at all? What if they were signs? Gentle whispers from the universe, pointing to a higher purpose, a deeper calling. Imagine this: a child, sitting under a tree, feels a quiet comfort in the rustling leaves. To others, it's just a child at play. But to that child, the moment holds something profound, a connection to something larger, unspoken, yet deeply felt. Perhaps you were that child. Perhaps those moments were the universe's way of saying, you're different, and your path will be unique. Life is not always loud or obvious in its messages. Zen and Buddhist philosophy teach us that the universe communicates subtly, molding and guiding those chosen to walk a special path. As one Zen master wisely said, "The river does not rush its flow, yet it carves the hardest rock over time." This truth echoes in the lives of those who feel different, those who are guided, tested, and shaped by experiences that seem ordinary on the surface but hold extraordinary meaning underneath. Do you remember feeling like you didn't quite belong? Like your thoughts, emotions, or even your dreams were somehow out of sync with the world around you? Maybe there were times when you felt the weight of understanding things others couldn't, or when your connection to the natural world felt like a secret only you could comprehend. These are not random occurrences. They are signs, subtle yet profound indicators of a deeper purpose. Today, we'll embark on a journey to uncover 7 clear signs from your childhood that suggest you were chosen. These signs are not just stories, they are keys to unlocking your own journey, drawing from the timeless wisdom of Zen and Buddhist teachings. We'll explore how these experiences shape your destiny and guide you toward fulfilling your unique role in the grand design of existence. But this isn't just about reflecting on the past. It's about understanding how those early moments, the loneliness, the flashes of wisdom, the pull toward justice, or the vivid dreams, are threads in a tapestry you are still weaving today. If you've ever felt like your life is part of something larger, yet couldn't quite place what it is, you're not alone. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you'll see how these signs not only reveal your purpose but also empower you to embrace it fully. Get ready to dive deep into these 7 signs. Learn how they intertwine with ancient teachings, and discover how they can illuminate the path ahead. This is your moment to reflect, to understand, and to awaken to the possibility that you are here for something far greater than you ever imagined. Let's begin. The concept of being chosen often carries an air of mystery. And yet, it is so deeply misunderstood. To be chosen is not to stand above others, adorned with privilege or special favor. It is not about being superior or separate. Instead, it is a profound responsibility, a calling to serve something greater, to walk a path that enriches not only your life but the lives of those around you. In Zen and Buddhist philosophy, this responsibility is tied to the idea of Dharma, the individual's unique purpose within the vast, interconnected web of existence. To embrace being chosen is to acknowledge that your life is part of something larger, a thread in the infinite fabric of the universe. Dharma teaches us that no path is exactly the same. Each person carries a specific role, a set of lessons to learn and truths to uncover. For the chosen, this role often requires more than just understanding. It demands courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to listen to the subtle language of life itself. The universe does not shout its intentions. It whispers through experiences, planting seeds of understanding that often don't sprout until years later. These whispers come in the form of challenges, moments of revelation, and even what might seem like peculiarities in our early lives. Childhood is particularly significant. It is a time when we are naturally attuned to the world's rhythms, open to the lessons that are often overlooked in adulthood. It is no coincidence that the signs of being chosen often begin to manifest during this formative time. Think back to your own childhood. Were there moments that made you pause? Even if you didn't fully understand why at the time, perhaps you felt an inexplicable sense of loneliness, as though the world around you didn't quite reflect what you felt inside. Or maybe you noticed an unusually strong sense of right and wrong, a moral compass that compelled you to speak up or take action even when others didn't. These moments weren't ordinary. They were the universe's way of preparing you, of shaping your heart and mind for a path that would require strength and clarity. In Buddhist teachings, this shaping process is not seen as arbitrary. It is believed that every experience, no matter how small, carries a lesson. The chosen are often given more to carry, not as a punishment, but as preparation. The loneliness you might have felt was teaching you resilience and introspection. Your sense of justice was awakening you to the interconnectedness of all beings, reminding you that your voice has the power to bring balance to the chaos of the world. Even your moments of wonder at the beauty of nature were preparing you to see the divine order in the world's smallest details. These early signs are not about setting you apart for the sake of separation. They are about alignment, about showing you the ways in which your life can contribute to the greater good. Being chosen does not mean your life will be easy. Quite the opposite. The chosen path often comes with trials that test your resolve, your patience, and your understanding of what truly matters. Yet within these trials lies the opportunity for profound growth, for awakening to truths that remain hidden to most. In Zen, there is a saying, "The obstacle is the path." This reminds us that the challenges we face are not distractions or detours. They are the journey itself. The chosen ones are often those who encounter these obstacles early, during childhood, because their role requires them to develop the tools to navigate life with wisdom and compassion. The loneliness, the peculiar wisdom, the vivid dreams, the deep empathy, these were not random. They were purposeful, placed in your life to help you build the foundation for a future you might not yet fully comprehend. As you reflect on these experiences, it's important to approach them with gratitude rather than resistance. What may have felt like burdens or challenges were, in fact, gifts. They were shaping your ability to see beyond the surface, to understand the deeper connections between people, nature, and the universe. To be chosen is not about perfection or achieving some unattainable ideal. It's about authenticity. It's about walking your path with humility, courage, and a deep respect for the role you play in the lives of others. And while the signs we'll explore may resonate with you in different ways, they all point to one fundamental truth. You were never meant to follow the crowd. Your path is unique, and it's meant to reflect the wisdom, compassion, and strength that the universe has been nurturing in you since the very beginning. By recognizing and embracing these signs, you can step more fully into the purpose for which you were chosen, not as a burden, but as an honor, a chance to bring light, balance, and meaning into the world. The journey to understanding this purpose begins with reflection, with a willingness to look back at the moments that shaped you and see them not as coincidences but as intentional. This is the power of being chosen, not to rise above, but to rise within. And in doing so, to lift others with you. Let's explore these signs together. And as we do, may you find clarity, inspiration, and the courage to embrace the incredible path that lies ahead. Sign 1. A deep sense of loneliness. As a child, loneliness might have seemed like an uninvited guest, a presence you couldn't quite shake. It was there in the quiet moments when you felt disconnected, even in a room full of people. It wasn't just about being alone, it was about feeling different. As if the world around you operated on a wavelength you couldn't fully align with. But what if this wasn't something to fix or escape? What if that feeling of loneliness was actually a gift? A sign that you were meant to travel a path unlike anyone else's. Loneliness can feel heavy, but Zen philosophy teaches us that in its stillness lies a profound opportunity. The practice of Zazen, seated meditation, invites us to sit with ourselves, to embrace the silence, and to discover that what seems like emptiness is actually full of potential. Imagine a young monk, sent by his teacher to meditate alone in the mountains. At first, he resented the isolation. The silence felt deafening, and the lack of human connection left him questioning his worth. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, he began to notice something remarkable. The solitude was not a void, it was a mirror. In its reflection, he began to see himself more clearly. His thoughts, his fears, his hopes, all laid bare in the stillness. What he once perceived as loneliness transformed into an unparalleled source of clarity and strength. For many of us, childhood loneliness can feel like an unspoken burden. Watching other children laugh and play while feeling like an outsider can be confusing, even painful. But in hindsight, those moments were shaping you in ways you couldn't yet understand. While others were immersed in the noise and distractions of the world, you were being guided inward. This inward journey, though difficult, was laying the groundwork for something extraordinary. It was teaching you self-reliance, the ability to stand strong in who you are, even when the world around you doesn't seem to notice or understand. The silence of loneliness is not empty. It holds lessons, sometimes hidden, but always waiting to be uncovered. Think about the times when you were alone as a child. Perhaps you found comfort in the rhythm of your thoughts or in the simple act of observing the world around you. A tree swaying in the breeze, the soft hum of distant traffic, the texture of a worn book in your hands. These small details became your companions. They grounded you in a way that the chatter of the playground couldn't. These moments, quiet and unassuming, were nurturing your ability to see the world through a lens of depth and meaning. Loneliness also has a way of cultivating resilience. It teaches you how to face the discomfort of being misunderstood or overlooked without losing your sense of self. While others might have sought constant validation, your loneliness pushed you to find affirmation within. This is not an easy lesson. It requires courage to sit with yourself, to face the thoughts and feelings that arise in the absence of distraction. But for those chosen to walk a unique path, it is a vital skill. The strength you gain from this kind of self-discovery becomes the foundation upon which your purpose is built. In Buddhist teachings, the concept of dukkha, often translated as suffering or dissatisfaction, includes the discomfort of feeling disconnected. Yet, this disconnection can also serve as a catalyst for seeking something greater. The longing you felt in those lonely moments wasn't just for companionship, it was a yearning for connection to something deeper, something beyond the surface of everyday life. That yearning was the universe's way of pulling you toward your purpose, urging you to look beyond the immediate and into the infinite. Perhaps, in your solitude, you began to notice things others missed. The patterns in nature, the subtleties of people's emotions, the way light shifts throughout the day. This heightened awareness is another gift of loneliness. When the noise of the world quiets, your senses sharpen. You begin to hear the whispers of the universe, the gentle nudges that guide you toward understanding and growth. These whispers may have come in the form of an idea, a sudden insight, or a feeling of connection to something larger than yourself. Over time, loneliness can also foster compassion. When you know what it feels like to be alone, you develop a sensitivity to the struggles of others. You understand the quiet battles that people fight, the ones they rarely speak of. This empathy, born from your own experiences, becomes a powerful tool. It allows you to connect with others on a deeper level, to offer understanding and kindness in a way that feels genuine and profound. But perhaps the most beautiful lesson of loneliness is its ability to teach you that you are never truly alone. In the silence, you come to realize that you are part of something vast and interconnected. The same stillness that once felt isolating begins to feel sacred, a reminder that you are deeply tied to the world around you. This realization is not something that can be taught in a classroom or learned from a book. It is something you discover in the quiet spaces, in the moments when the world fades away, and you are left with only yourself. The loneliness you experienced as a child was not a punishment or a defect. It was an invitation, a chance to step into a space of reflection and growth that few are given the opportunity to explore so early in life. While others were focused on fitting in, you were learning to stand out in a way that is authentic and meaningful. Your solitude was shaping you, not for the sake of isolation, but to prepare you for the unique path you were meant to walk. Looking back, those moments of loneliness were not the end of the story, they were the beginning. They were the universe's way of saying, you are different, and that difference is your strength. By embracing those experiences, by understanding their purpose, you can transform what once felt like a burden into a source of power and clarity. The loneliness that shaped your childhood was not a shadow to be feared. It was a light guiding you toward the person you were always meant to become. Sign 2, an inborn sense of justice. If you were the child who couldn't bear to see someone treated unfairly, who spoke up when no one else would, even if your voice wavered, this wasn't a coincidence. That deep sense of justice, the way your heart seemed to break at even small acts of cruelty or dishonesty, was something innate. It wasn't taught in school or shaped by external influences, it was a part of you, as natural as breathing. While others may have shrugged off the small injustices of childhood, unfair treatment on the playground, a friend excluded without reason, you felt these moments keenly. They stuck with you, a quiet but persistent signal that something was out of balance. In Buddhist philosophy, this sensitivity to injustice arises from a profound understanding of interconnectedness. To see another person harmed, even in a seemingly minor way, is to sense the ripple of that imbalance in the collective whole. When one piece of the fabric of existence is disturbed, the entire pattern feels the effect. As a child, you may not have had the words to articulate this, but you felt it nonetheless. Every unfair moment was like a stone dropped into the calm waters of your heart, and the ripples were impossible to ignore. Perhaps this sense of justice led to challenges in your early years. It may have made you seem overly sensitive or even rebellious, especially in the eyes of authority figures who didn't understand why you couldn't just let things go. When you saw a classmate being teased or a rule that seemed unjustly applied, you couldn't stay silent. You may have been the one to stand up to a bully or question a teacher's decision, even if it meant facing repercussions. But these moments, as difficult as they were shaping you. They were refining your moral compass, teaching you how to balance the fire of your convictions with the need for thoughtful action. The Buddha himself faced injustice in his life. He encountered suffering, inequity, and the imbalance that comes from human ignorance and greed. Yet, his response was not one of anger or retaliation. Instead, he taught that true justice arises from compassion and wisdom. Anger, he said, clouds judgment and perpetuates suffering, even when it feels justified. For you, this means that your sense of justice, while powerful, is a tool that must be wielded with care. It's not enough to react to unfairness, the challenge is to act with clarity and understanding. To see beyond the immediate moment, and consider the larger impact of your actions. Think back to those moments in your childhood when you stood up for what was right. Maybe you defended a friend who was being unfairly blamed for something they didn't do. Or you challenged an adult who dismissed your concerns. These experiences weren't easy. They may have left you feeling misunderstood or even punished for your efforts. But they were also teaching you resilience. Showing you how to stand firm in your values even when the world around you seemed indifferent or hostile. In Buddhism, there is a concept known as right action. One of the steps on the Eightfold Path. Right action doesn't just mean doing what feels good or seems immediately just, it means acting in a way that aligns with compassion, wisdom, and the greater good. For you, this might mean learning to temper your passion for justice with patience. To recognize that change often happens slowly and through many small steps. It might mean learning to pick your battles. To focus your energy where it can make the greatest impact. Rather than trying to fix everything at once. Your sense of justice is not a burden, it's a gift. It's a sign that you were chosen to be a voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. To bring balance to a world that often feels chaotic and unfair. But this role requires more than just passion, it requires wisdom. It requires you to see beyond your own perspective. To understand the complexities of every situation. And to act in a way that not only corrects the immediate imbalance but also contributes to the long-term harmony of the whole. Perhaps you've already begun to see how this gift has shaped your path. Maybe you've found yourself drawn to roles where you can advocate for others, teaching, counseling, activism, or simply being the person in your circle who always stands up for what's right. Or perhaps you're still learning how to channel this sense of justice in a way that feels sustainable and impactful. Wherever you are on this journey, know that the challenges you faced as a child were not in vain. They were preparing you for this role, sharpening your instincts, and teaching you the patience and clarity needed to truly make a difference. There's a Zen saying that goes, "Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder." This wisdom reminds us that while passion is important, it's the thoughtful, compassionate actions we take that create real change. Your sense of justice is like rain, nourishing, steady, and capable of transforming even the harshest landscapes. When you learn to wield it with care, it becomes a force not just for correction but for healing. As you reflect on the injustices you've witnessed, both in childhood and beyond, remember that your reaction to them is part of what sets you apart. It's a sign that you are attuned to the world's imbalances in a way that others may not be. This sensitivity, while sometimes overwhelming, is your superpower. It's what allows you to see the connections between people, to feel the pain of others as your own, and to act in ways that restore harmony. You were never meant to sit idly by while the world unfolded around you. Your role is to engage, to challenge, to advocate, not out of anger or frustration, but out of a deep love for the interconnected web of life. The lessons of your childhood were preparing you for this. shaping you into someone who doesn't just see what's wrong but who also has the courage and wisdom to work toward what's right. And in doing so, you honor not only yourself but also the greater whole of which you are an integral part. Sign 3, a profound connection to nature. As a child, the whispers of nature may have resonated with you in a way that felt deeply personal, almost sacred. The rustling of leaves in the wind, the soft hum of a bee flitting between flowers, or the gentle rhythm of raindrops against the window pane, these weren't just background sounds to you. They were voices, offering wisdom, comfort, and a sense of belonging. While others might have rushed past these moments, caught up in the noise and busyness of life, you lingered, you noticed, and in noticing, you connected. This connection wasn't something you were taught, it was something you felt. Perhaps you found yourself drawn to the stillness of a forest, the vastness of the ocean, or the quiet resilience of a lone tree standing against the wind. These moments of connection weren't just peaceful, they were transformative. Nature, in all its simplicity and complexity, seemed to speak directly to your soul. And what it said was this: you are part of something much greater than yourself. In Buddhist teachings, nature is not separate from us, it is a mirror of our inner world. The cycles of nature, birth, growth, decay, and renewal, are the same cycles we experience in our own lives. A Zen parable tells of a monk who spent hours observing a river. At first, he saw only water moving endlessly forward. But as he continued to watch, he realized that the river was teaching him something profound, that life, like water, is always in motion. It flows past obstacles, adapts to its surroundings, and yet remains constant in its purpose. The river, the monk realized, was not just a body of water, it was a reflection of his own journey. As a child, you may have intuitively understood this truth. The flow of a stream, the changing colors of the seasons, the quiet strength of the mountains, these weren't just beautiful sights to you. They were lessons, reminding you of the impermanence of life, and the importance of adaptability. When life felt chaotic or overwhelming, nature had a way of grounding you, of pulling you back to a place of calm and clarity. It wasn't just a source of comfort, it was a guide, helping you navigate the challenges of life with the same resilience and harmony it embodies. This connection to nature wasn't just about admiration, it was about communion. When you sat beneath a tree or walked barefoot on the earth, you weren't just observing nature, you were part of it. The lines between you and the world around you blurred. And in that merging, you found a sense of belonging that was both profound and humbling. The trees, the water, the sky, they weren't separate entities. They were extensions of yourself, just as you were an extension of them. Perhaps this connection made you feel different from others. While your peers were caught up in games or gadgets, you found joy in simpler things, the way sunlight danced through the leaves, the intricate patterns of a snowflake, or the song of a bird at dawn. These moments may have seemed insignificant to others, but to you, they were everything. They were reminders of the beauty and interconnectedness of the world. And they filled you with a sense of wonder that words could never fully capture. This sense of wonder is one of nature's greatest gifts. It reminds us to slow down, to pay attention, and to appreciate the present moment. In Buddhism, this practice of mindfulness, of being fully present in the here and now, is a cornerstone of spiritual growth. Nature, in its quiet, unassuming way, teaches us this mindfulness effortlessly. It doesn't demand our attention, it invites it. And when we accept that invitation, we discover that the answers we seek are often right in front of us. Hidden in the simplicity of a flower blooming, or a cloud drifting across the sky. Your connection to nature may have also sparked a sense of responsibility. Seeing the beauty and fragility of the natural world likely made you more aware of your role in preserving it. The Zen concept of interbeing, the idea that all things are interconnected, teaches that caring for the earth is not just an act of kindness, it's an act of self-preservation. When we harm nature, we harm ourselves. Because we are not separate from it. This awareness may have driven you to protect and nurture the environment. Even in small ways. Knowing that each act of care ripples outward. Just as a single drop of rain creates ripples across a pond. But perhaps the most profound lesson nature offers is the reminder that life is a balance of strength and surrender. A tree, for example, stands tall and firm. Yet it sways with the wind. It doesn't resist the storm, it moves with it. Adapting to its force. This balance is something you likely felt drawn to as a child. It taught you that strength isn't about rigidity. It's about flexibility. It's about knowing when to stand your ground and when to let go. Nature, in its infinite wisdom, showed you that both are necessary for growth. Looking back, your childhood connection to nature wasn't just a series of fleeting moments. It was a relationship. One that shaped your understanding of the world and your place within it. It taught you to see beyond the surface. To find meaning in the smallest details. And to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. It showed you that even in the midst of life's challenges, there is beauty, resilience, and harmony to be found. This connection wasn't an accident. It was a sign. A calling to embrace the rhythm of life, and to honor the natural world as both a teacher and a reflection of your own journey. The trees, the rivers, the mountains, they were not just there to be admired. They were there to guide you, to remind you of your own strength, and to prepare you for the path you were meant to walk. Nature, in all its simplicity and complexity, was shaping you, not just as an observer, but as a participant in the grand tapestry of existence. And in that participation, you found not only peace but purpose. Sign 4, wisdom beyond your years. As a child, perhaps you noticed something different about the way you saw the world. While other kids might have been preoccupied with games or simple pleasures, you often found yourself pondering deeper questions. Maybe adults around you remarked on your unusual maturity, surprised by the insights you offered or the way you seemed to grasp emotions and situations far beyond your years. This wasn't a skill you learned or something anyone taught you, it was an innate wisdom. A quiet but profound understanding of life's complexities that seemed to flow effortlessly through you. This wasn't just maturity, it was a glimpse of something much greater. In Zen teachings, there's a concept known as satori. A moment of sudden enlightenment where universal truths reveal themselves in ways that are both profound and fleeting. For those who are chosen, these moments of clarity often come early in life. Like brief windows into a deeper reality. You might have experienced this in the stillness of a solitary walk. In the way you intuitively understood the pain behind someone's smile. Or in the quiet certainty that some truths didn't need words, they simply were. But carrying this wisdom wasn't always easy. It set you apart in ways that could feel isolating. While your peers may have been content with surface-level interactions, you were drawn to depth. You wanted to understand not just what people did but why they did it. You felt the weight of the unspoken, sensing emotions and motivations that others seemed oblivious to. This ability to see beyond the surface, while a gift, could also make it difficult to relate to those around you. It wasn't that you didn't want to connect, it was that you were moving through life on a wavelength that many couldn't quite tune into. This feeling of being different wasn't a curse. Though it may have felt like one at times. It was a sign. A marker of the path you were meant to walk. Wisdom, especially at a young age, can feel like a heavy burden. You may have struggled with how to share your insights or whether you even should. After all, how do you explain a truth that seems so obvious to you but is invisible to others? This struggle wasn't a failing on your part, it was part of your journey, teaching you the delicate art of timing and context. Zen philosophy reminds us that wisdom is like a seed. It cannot be forced to grow in barren soil or under the wrong conditions. Instead, it must be planted in fertile ground, where it can take root and flourish. This means that the value of your wisdom lies not just in what you know but in when and how you choose to share it. Learning to discern the right moment to offer your insights with compassion rather than superiority is an essential part of your role as a guide and a teacher. Whether you realize it or not, think about the moments in your childhood when you shared your thoughts or advice. Perhaps you told a friend something they needed to hear, even if it was difficult for them to accept. Maybe you comforted an adult with words that seemed to surprise them, not because they were elaborate but because they carried a truth that resonated deeply. These moments, though small, were significant. They were reminders that your wisdom was not meant to elevate you above others but to bridge the gap between understanding and action, to guide both yourself and those around you toward greater harmony. This kind of wisdom also comes with an important lesson: humility. Zen masters often speak of the beginner's mind. The idea that true wisdom comes not from thinking you have all the answers but from remaining open to learning. No matter how much you already know. As a child, your insights may have felt like an unshakable truth. But part of your journey is learning that wisdom is a dynamic force. It grows, evolves, and deepens as you experience life. The more you embrace the beginner's mind, the more your wisdom will continue to flourish, allowing you to see even greater truths and share them with others in meaningful ways. Your wisdom wasn't meant to isolate you, it was meant to connect you. It was a gift not just for your benefit but for the benefit of those you encounter. In Buddhist teachings, there's an emphasis on the interconnectedness of all beings. The truths you carry within you are not yours alone, they are threads in the larger tapestry of existence. By sharing your insights, you're not just expressing your own understanding, you're contributing to the collective growth and awakening of those around you. But this doesn't mean you have to share everything with everyone. Part of the journey of being chosen is learning discernment. Understanding that not every truth is meant to be spoken aloud and not every person is ready to hear what you have to say. This doesn't diminish the value of your wisdom, it simply means that timing and intention matter. The right words at the wrong time can fall on deaf ears. But the right words at the right time can change someone's life. As you reflect on your childhood and the ways your wisdom set you apart, consider how it has shaped your path. Perhaps it drew you to certain roles or relationships where your insights could make a difference. Maybe it led you to seek out deeper connections, to question the status quo, or to pursue a path of personal growth and understanding. Whatever form it has taken, your wisdom has been a guiding light, illuminating not just your journey but the journeys of those around you. It's important to honor this gift, not by hoarding it but by sharing it wisely. Remember that wisdom is not a destination, it's a lifelong process. It's not about having all the answers but about being willing to explore the questions, to remain curious, and to approach each moment with openness and compassion. Your wisdom is a reflection of your soul's journey, a sign that you were chosen not to stand apart but to stand within the world, offering your light where it is most needed. In those quiet moments when you feel the weight of your understanding, take solace in the knowledge that you are not alone. Many have walked this path before you, and many will walk it after you. Your role is not to carry the burden of knowing but to embrace the beauty of sharing. To plant seeds of insight and trust that they will grow in their own time. And as you do, you fulfill the purpose for which you were chosen. One moment, one connection, and one act of understanding at a time. Sign 5, Vivid Dreams and Intuition. As a child, you may have noticed that your dreams felt different, vivid, alive, and brimming with meaning. They were not just random flashes of imagination but sequences that seemed to carry hidden messages. Symbols you couldn't quite decipher yet couldn't ignore. Long after waking, the images and feelings lingered, as if they were whispering something important, something just out of reach. Perhaps you found yourself dreaming of places you'd never been but felt deeply familiar, or of people whose faces you couldn't place but whose presence seemed significant. These dreams weren't simply figments of your subconscious. They were echoes of something greater, a language of the universe speaking directly to your soul, even beyond your dreams. There may have been moments during your waking life when you felt an unexplainable knowing. Perhaps you sensed when something was about to happen, a phone call before it rang, a friend's mood without them saying a word. These weren't coincidences. They were glimpses of your intuition. A gift many overlook or dismiss, but one that is deeply connected to the rhythms of the universe. While others might have been guided solely by logic and observation, you were tuned into something subtler, something more profound. In Buddhist philosophy, the mind is seen as vast and interconnected, capable of perceiving truths that transcend the physical realm. Your dreams and intuitive moments were part of this connection. A bridge between the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. They were not random occurrences but purposeful messages, guiding you toward a path uniquely your own. Just as the wind moves unseen yet stirs the leaves, so too does the universe communicate through these quiet, unspoken channels. Trusting these gifts, however, is not always easy. In a world that often prioritizes tangible evidence and dismisses the intangible, it can feel challenging to embrace what intuition and dreams reveal. As a child, you may have kept these experiences to yourself, unsure if others would understand. Maybe you hesitated to share a dream that felt too strange or a hunch that felt too improbable. Yet, even in your silence, these experiences continued to shape you, nudging you toward a deeper understanding of yourself and your connection to the world around you. A Zen master once said, "The answers are all around you, you just need to quiet your mind to hear them." This wisdom captures the essence of how dreams and intuition work. They are not loud or forceful, they don't demand your attention. Instead, they wait patiently for you to notice, to listen. By cultivating mindfulness, you can begin to distinguish between fleeting thoughts and genuine insight. This practice requires courage, not because intuition is unreliable, but because it often asks us to trust what we cannot see or fully explain. Think back to the dreams that stayed with you, the ones that felt significant even if you didn't understand why. Perhaps they were filled with symbols, a door you were afraid to open, a path that stretched endlessly before you, a bird taking flight. Each of these images held a message, an invitation to reflect on what lies beneath the surface of your waking life, or consider the moments when your intuition guided you. Maybe you avoided a situation that didn't feel right, only to later realize the wisdom of your hesitation. These instances were not accidents, they were affirmations of your connection to something greater. In Buddhist teachings, the mind is likened to a clear mirror. When it is calm and unclouded, it reflects the truth. But when it is disturbed by noise, distraction, or doubt, the reflection becomes distorted. Your dreams and intuition are like flashes of clarity in this mirror, offering glimpses of the truth even when the surface is turbulent. They remind you to quiet the chaos, to trust the stillness, and to listen to the voice within. It's important to recognize that these gifts are not just about you. They are tools for navigating your own journey. Yes. But they are also meant to guide and support others. Your ability to sense what lies beneath the surface allows you to connect deeply with those around you, to understand their struggles and joys in ways they may not even understand themselves. This empathy, born of your intuition, is a powerful way to bring light and healing to the world. Yet, like any gift, intuition and dreams require care. They must be nurtured, honed, and respected. This means creating space in your life for stillness and reflection, allowing yourself the time to truly listen. It means letting go of the need to always rationalize or explain and instead trusting the quiet knowing that arises from within. It also means being patient, understanding that not every dream will reveal its meaning immediately and not every intuitive nudge will make sense right away. Like seeds planted in fertile soil, these insights often take time to grow and bear fruit. There may have been moments when your intuition felt like a burden, especially if it revealed truths you weren't ready to face. Perhaps you sensed tension in a relationship before it surfaced or saw a challenge approaching that others couldn't yet see. These experiences, while difficult, were not meant to overwhelm you. They were meant to prepare you, to help you navigate the complexities of life with clarity and purpose. Your dreams and intuition are reminders that life is not just what we see but also what we feel, sense, and know deep within. They are threads in the fabric of your existence, connecting you to the mysteries of the universe and to the wisdom that lies beyond the physical. Embracing these gifts is not about seeking certainty, it's about finding comfort in the uncertainty, trusting that even when the path is unclear, you are being guided. As you continue on your journey, allow your dreams and intuition to be your compass. Let them lead you not just to answers but to questions that spark growth and discovery. Honor them as the gifts they are, subtle, profound, and uniquely yours. And remember, the universe is always speaking to you. All you need to do is listen. Sign 6, Deep Empathy for Others. Empathy is a remarkable gift, one that connects us to the hearts and minds of others in ways that words often cannot. From an early age, you may have noticed that your ability to feel deeply set you apart. It wasn't just that you could sense when someone was sad or upset, you felt it in your bones, as if their emotions were your own. When a friend cried, you cried too. When a stranger seemed burdened, their weight seemed to transfer to you. This wasn't something you chose or learned, it was an intrinsic part of who you were, a thread woven into the very fabric of your being. This profound sensitivity is a hallmark of karuna, the Buddhist practice of compassion. It stems from an understanding that all beings are interconnected, that the pain of one ripples outward and touches us all. As a child, you may not have had the words to describe this, but you felt it in every fiber of your being. You couldn't turn away from someone else's suffering, no matter how small or distant it seemed. Whether it was comforting a friend, helping an injured animal, or simply noticing when someone needed a kind word, your empathy drove you to act. But as powerful as empathy is, it is not without its challenges. Feeling deeply for others can be overwhelming, especially when you're young and still learning how to navigate your own emotions. There may have been times when your sensitivity felt like too much, when the weight of others' pain threatened to crush you. This is the double-edged nature of empathy. It allows us to connect, to heal, to love. But it can also leave us vulnerable, drained, and unsure of where our emotions end and someone else's begin. Zen philosophy offers a crucial insight here: balance is essential. Just as a tree cannot grow without roots firmly anchored in the ground, you cannot give to others if you are not first grounded in yourself. This means learning to care for yourself, not as an act of selfishness, but as an act of preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And your empathy, as powerful as it is, needs boundaries to thrive. Boundaries are not barriers, they are the structure that allows your compassion to flow freely without depleting your energy. Think back to moments in your life when you felt overwhelmed by your empathy. Perhaps you stayed awake at night worrying about someone else's problems. Or you took on responsibilities that weren't yours, simply because you couldn't bear to see someone else struggle. These experiences, while challenging, were teaching you an important lesson: the value of self-care. To fulfill your role as a healer, guide, or compassionate presence, you must learn to nurture yourself with the same love and attention you give to others. In Buddhism, there is a practice known as metta, or loving-kindness meditation. It begins by cultivating love and compassion for yourself before extending it outward to others. This practice reminds us that we cannot truly love others if we do not first love ourselves. Your empathy is a beautiful gift, but it cannot flourish if it is constantly running on empty. By taking time to care for yourself, whether through meditation, rest, or simply saying no when you need to, you create the space for your compassion to grow stronger and more sustainable. It's also important to recognize that your role is not to fix everyone's problems. Empathy can sometimes trick us into thinking that we must shoulder the burdens of others. But this is not the case. Your gift is not about solving every issue, it's about being present. About offering understanding and support in a way that empowers others to heal themselves. This distinction is vital. By holding space for someone's pain without taking it on as your own, you honor both their journey and your own well-being. Your empathy is not just a gift for those around you, it's a mirror of your own connection to the universe. When you feel deeply for others, you are tapping into the shared humanity that binds us all. This connection is what allows you to see the beauty and fragility of life, to recognize the struggles and triumphs that make us human. It is a reminder that none of us are truly alone, that we are all threads in the same intricate web of existence. Yet, this connection can also bring heartache. The world is full of pain, and as someone who feels deeply, you may find yourself grappling with the enormity of it all. How can one person make a difference in the face of so much suffering? This is where the teachings of Zen offer comfort. You don't need to change the whole world, you only need to be present in your corner of it. Every act of kindness, no matter how small, creates ripples. Every moment of compassion adds to the collective healing of the world. By focusing on what you can do, rather than what you cannot, you transform your empathy from a source of overwhelm into a source of strength. As you continue to walk your path, remember that your empathy is not a burden, it is your superpower. It is what allows you to see the world through a lens of love and understanding, to connect with others on a level that transcends words. It is what makes you a light in the lives of those around you, even when you don't realize it. But to keep that light shining, you must tend to it. You must honor your own needs, set boundaries when necessary, and trust that your compassion is enough. There may be times when your empathy feels like too much, when the weight of the world's pain seems unbearable. In those moments, take a step back and breathe. Remind yourself that you are not alone. That the universe is vast and that your role is not to carry the weight of it all. Your role is simply to be present, to love, and to let your empathy guide you in a way that feels sustainable and true. Through your empathy, you are a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the midst of suffering, there is kindness, connection, and the possibility of healing. By embracing this gift, with all its challenges and beauty, you fulfill the purpose for which you were chosen, not to fix the world, but to touch it with your light. One heart at a time. Sign 7, a sense of being different or misunderstood. From the earliest moments of your life, there was a quiet knowing, a sense that you were different from those around you. While other children might have played the same games, shared the same interests, or followed the same rules, you felt a pull in another direction. Your thoughts didn't always match the expectations of others. Your interests were often unique, perhaps even misunderstood, and the way you saw the world, it wasn't the same as everyone else's. And that made you feel like an outsider at times. But what if this sense of difference wasn't something to be feared or resented? What if it was actually a sign of something deeper, something more profound? It's easy to think that being different means being less. But in truth, it's a sign of being chosen. A sign that you were never meant to follow the crowd. Your path was meant to be your own. And your uniqueness was the key to unlocking the purpose you were born to fulfill. Buddhist philosophy speaks of the middle way, a path that is neither too extreme nor too conventional but perfectly balanced. This middle way doesn't follow the rigid rules or norms set by society. Instead, it's a way of being that honors what's true to oneself, even if it doesn't fit into the expectations of others. You were never meant to follow the masses, to fit neatly into a box, or to live according to someone else's idea of who you should be. Your difference was the gift that would guide you toward your true purpose. And every time you felt isolated or misunderstood, you were being subtly reminded of that fact. Being different isn't always easy. In fact, it can feel incredibly lonely at times. As a child, you might have struggled to understand why others didn't see things the way you did. Perhaps you were labeled as odd or difficult because your perspective didn't align with the mainstream. Maybe you found it hard to relate to your peers. Or you were told to fit in when all you wanted was to remain true to your authentic self. The discomfort you felt in those moments wasn't a sign of weakness, it was a sign of your strength. A reflection of your journey toward embracing your uniqueness. Your path was never meant to be like everyone else's. You were chosen to see the world through a different lens, to offer solutions and perspectives that others might not even have considered. The middle way invites you to embrace your individuality, to walk the path that feels true to you, even if it doesn't make sense to others. You were never meant to be a follower, you were meant to be a leader in your own right. A guide who would show others that being true to oneself is the most powerful thing one can do. This difference, though it may have felt isolating at times, was shaping you into the person you were always meant to become. Every moment of being misunderstood was preparing you to stand in your power and embrace the truth of who you are. In Buddhism, it's often said that the true path isn't the one that's easiest, it's the one that requires courage, discipline, and the willingness to embrace one's own truth, no matter how unconventional it may seem. And that's exactly what you've been doing all along. By honoring your uniqueness, you're not just honoring yourself. You're setting an example for others. You're showing them that it's okay to be different. That it's okay to question the norms. To walk a path that others can't yet see. Your difference isn't something to hide or shrink from, it's something to celebrate. When you accept yourself fully, as you are, different and unique, you become a beacon for others to do the same. you create a ripple effect of authenticity and courage that extends far beyond yourself. By embracing your own journey, you inspire others to do the same. To take the courage to honor their own paths, even if it means stepping away from the crowd. This sense of being different also carries with it a deep wisdom. You may have noticed, as you grew older, that the very things that once made you feel isolated are the same things that now set you apart as a leader or visionary. Your ability to see things differently, to think outside the box, and to approach problems from new angles is a gift. It's a gift that the world needs. A gift that will allow you to make a profound impact on the lives of others. In Zen, there's a teaching that often resonates with those who feel like outsiders. It's the teaching of Shoshin, or the beginner's mind. It encourages us to approach life with openness, eagerness, and a lack of preconceptions, like a child seeing the world for the first time. This teaching aligns with your experience of being different. Your perspective, your way of seeing the world, is a kind of beginner's mind, one that hasn't been shaped or limited by the conventional wisdom of others. It's fresh, it's new, and it has the potential to offer insights that others may not even be able to grasp. When you embrace your difference, you're also embracing the potential for transformation, not just in yourself, but in the world around you. By being willing to stand apart from the crowd, to offer perspectives that challenge the status quo, you contribute to a greater vision. One where diversity and individuality are celebrated, not suppressed. The world needs more people like you, people who are unafraid to walk their own path, who can look beyond the conventional and see the bigger picture. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand out, to carve a new path that others could follow. Every time you felt misunderstood or isolated, remember that those moments weren't signs of failure. They were signs of your strength. They were the universe's way of preparing you for the important work that only you can do. Being misunderstood is often a byproduct of being ahead of your time, of holding a vision that others aren't yet ready to see. But that doesn't make it any less valid. It makes it all the more important. In embracing your uniqueness, you also find a deep sense of peace. You learn that the opinions of others, while important, don't define you. Your worth isn't measured by how well you fit into societal expectations. Your worth is inherent, and it's reflected in the courage you show by being true to yourself. The more you honor your own path, the more you inspire others to do the same, creating a world where authenticity is the norm, not the exception. So, if you've ever felt different, if you've ever struggled with the feeling of not quite fitting in, take heart. It's not a flaw, it's your gift. It's a sign that you were chosen for something bigger than yourself. You are here to lead, to show others that it's okay to walk a different path, to think differently, and to offer the world a perspective that only you can bring. Embrace your difference, and you'll see that it's not a burden, it's your greatest strength. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to leave you with a simple truth. Being chosen isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. The signs from your childhood, the ones we've explored today, weren't just random moments. They were the universe's way of gently guiding you, preparing you for a path that is uniquely yours. These signs weren't meant to highlight flaws or weaknesses, they were meant to highlight your strength, your resilience, and your potential to make an impact in ways only you can. In a world that often values conformity, being true to yourself is one of the most radical acts you can perform. Zen teachings, which we've drawn upon throughout this video, remind us that each and every moment is an opportunity to awaken, to grow, and to align ourselves more deeply with our true purpose. The Buddha often spoke of the interconnectedness of all beings, the way our lives, thoughts, and actions ripple through the universe. Your journey, no matter how unconventional it may seem, is a reflection of the larger, beautiful tapestry of life. And just as each thread in a tapestry plays a vital role in creating the bigger picture, so does your unique path contribute to the collective good. The Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, whose wisdom has inspired so many of us, once said, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop." That quote encapsulates the essence of your journey. You are not a small, insignificant part of the world, you are the world. In all its vastness, beauty, and complexity, everything you experience, every lesson you learn, every struggle you overcome, and every moment of clarity you gain is not only shaping your life but is also a reflection of the universe itself. And in that way, your life matters, deeply and profoundly. Every step you take, every choice you make, and every moment you honor your true self matters. You are contributing to something much larger than you can see. So, as you continue along your path, remember this: you are chosen. You have always been chosen, not for fame, not for accolades, but to walk a journey that aligns with your soul's purpose, your uniqueness, your empathy, your wisdom, your connection to nature, and every sign from your childhood were guiding you toward a life that would impact others in ways you may not yet fully understand. But by embracing your path with openness, you will begin to see how every piece of your story fits together, how your light can help others find theirs, and how you are exactly where you are meant to be. I encourage you, as you move forward, to keep walking that path of authenticity. Trust in your experiences. Trust in the moments of solitude, the moments of connection, and even the moments when you feel misunderstood, because those are the moments where your true power is born. Those are the moments that will lead you to a place of peace, fulfillment, and understanding. Your path is a reflection of the universe's wisdom, and as long as you stay true to it, you will find the clarity and the strength you need to fulfill your purpose. Before we part ways today, I want to take a moment to thank you for being here, for taking the time to listen, reflect, and connect with your own journey. I hope this video has helped you see yourself in a new light, reminding you that you are not alone on this path. There is a community of people just like you. People who feel different. People who have felt misunderstood. People who have sensed their purpose long before they could articulate it. Together, we are all walking the same path of self-discovery, growth, and understanding. If this video resonated with you, I encourage you to leave a comment below and share your story. It could be the very thing someone else needs to hear to step into their own journey of embracing their uniqueness. You never know how your words can inspire someone else to take that first step toward their own path of authenticity. Your voice matters. Your story matters. And by sharing it, you might just be the spark that lights the way for someone else. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We have many more insights, reflections, and stories to share together as we continue to explore the deeper questions of life, purpose, and self-discovery. You are not alone in this, we are all on this journey together. So, as you go about your day, remember this: you are the entire ocean in a drop. You are chosen, you are enough. And the world is waiting for the gifts you are here to share. Thank you for watching, for being here, and for being you.